English books.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about one of the English books that you read?
Teacher, well, the English books I read were magazines.
Okay, and what happened in these magazines?
Well, it tells us about some articles, about how to write an article.
Okay. And what did you learn?
I learned about how to write an article.
And what did you learn about writing an article? What are some new things that you learned?
My magazine says that, can you start from the article and then how to end the article?
Okay, great. And did you try writing an article?
Teacher, I will write my article after my class, okay?
Okay. And what kind of article will you write?
This one? You mean this one?
My new English diary. Okay, that's cool.
So my article will start from this page.
Okay. What are you going to write about?
I'm going to write about koalas.
And what are you going to write about koalas? Can you tell me a little bit?
I can't tell you, but I'm going to write it after class.
Okay, well you can tell me next time.
Well, I don't know about the article, but I can't show it to you. I don't want to I can't show it to you.
Okay. Great. So,
We are going to talk about comic books.
So what do you see in this picture?
Teacher, look at this.
What's that?
This is my diary. Yesterday.
Okay. That's cool. Do you write that in English or do you write that in Chinese?
I write that in English.
Okay. That's awesome. You're so smart.
Yahoo!
Whoa! So tell me, what do you see in the picture? What do you see in the picture?
Teacher, look at this.
It's a koala. It's so cute. Did you?
This is not a koala. This is a raccoon dog. This is not my diary for today. This is yesterday's diary.
Okay. Did you draw the picture?
I didn't draw this picture. I drew this picture.
Wow, it's really good. You're a great artist. Well done, Raymond.
Teacher,
Okay.
let me ask you a question. Do you understand my diary or you don't understand my diary.
So I couldn't read it, so I don't understand what it's about, but the pictures are beautiful.
So maybe you don't understand my diary, right?
Maybe I don't. That's true.
So we are going to talk about comic books. So I've got a comic book. This one?
Okay. And do you like this comic book?
Yes, I like comic books.
So what happens in this comic book?
This comic book talks about superheroes.
Yeah.
So, teacher, can we start the lesson?
Yeah, sure. So tell me, what do you see in the picture?
This one? I can see some pens, a paintbrush, and some paint.
Okay, excellent. So we're going to look at comic books like you said. Can you please read this for me?
Comic books are printed publications which tell a story. They often feature superheroes like Batman or Superman. The storyline usually focuses on the struggle between good characters and evil ones. The layouts and artwork in comic books are unique. They contain several boxes on each page. Inside each box is an illustration. Many boxes also have word bubbles which contain what the character said. Comic book art is also a specific style. In this lesson, you will learn about comic books and popular storylines.
Great. So what is a superhero?
Well, a superhero is a hero who has superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. And what are the layouts usually like in comic books?
Sorry?
What are the layouts usually like in comic books?
Teacher, what does layout mean?
So the way that they look.
Well, the layouts use the characters.
Yeah, so it says that the layout and artwork usually have lots of boxes on the page. So the layout is what the page looks like. So there are usually lots of boxes, and in each box there's a picture.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant.
Superhero. Teacher, can you give me a pen?
Sure. Here you go.
Okay. Superhero. A fictional character who has superpowers. So I'll write Superman. Superman. Oops. Superman. Oops. Superman. Superman is a superhero. Oops.
Yeah, great job. Well done for making a sentence.
So storyline.
Storyline.
So I'll write it a bit to here. So I'll say each. So each comic book has its own storyline.
Okay, great. Brilliant. What about villain?
Villain, okay. So I'll write a villain is a super bad guy who is against the superhero. Oops!
Good job.
Superpower. So superpower. Another sentence. So I'll write.
Like a special power that you have.
So I'll say Superman has superpowers.
Great job. Okay, appeal.
Appeal, to be attractive or interesting. So I'll write my videos have a wide appeal.
Wow, these are great sentences.
Good job! So next one is reinforce. So I'll write this house is very old. It needs some reinforce.
Yeah, so we would say it needs some reinforcement if we use it like this.
Yep.
Great sentence, well done. No worries, I put it on there for you. Great job.
Teacher, there is another word. Okay? So X-rays.
There is, but we only have 10 minutes, so I want to
Teacher.
kind of get through the meeting.
Teacher, so I'll be fast,
Make
okay?
sentences.
So I'll be fast.
Okay, I believe in you. I believe in you.
Our luggage needs to go through the X-ray so machine
Good job.
in the airport. So finished. I'm finished.
Can you read this one?
Yes. Stan Lee. Comic books have been in existence since the 18th century. Sorry. They were first published in Asia and Europe. They became popular in the United States. However, in the 1900s, then they rose to a new height in popularity in the 1960s, thanks to Stan Lee. Stan Lee is responsible for many modern-day comic book heroes and villains such as Spider-Man, X-Men, Iron Man, and the Fantastic Four, all of which have since been adapted to blockbuster feature films. Lee is credited with creating human superheroes. Unlike the superheroes of the past, Lee's characters were not perfect. Instead, they were human beings who happened to have superpowers. The comic book characters that Lee created appealed to a much broader audience. Marvel, the company he worked for, experienced a comeback in the comic book industry thanks to his work.
Great. So what was special about Stan Lee's characters?
Well, his characters are superheroes.
Yeah, the superheroes. But what was different about his?
Well, his superheroes were human beings who happened to have superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't perfect people, but they were just humans who had superpowers.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Can you read this one?
Art. Comic book art is easily recognized by several defining characteristics. Comic books do not feature a lot of printed words, so the art must reinforce the storyline. Each illustration is drawn in pencil first, then the artist goes over the lines in pen or marker. Comic book artists use a variety of line and shading techniques to give comic books their unique appearance. Then they will add color to the images. Finally, they will finish by writing in the dialogues.
Okay, great. So what are two of the steps taken when making comic book art? What do they do?
Well, they draw the pictures in pencils.
Yeah.
And then they go over the lines in pen or marker. Then they use colored pencils. Finally, they will finish by writing in the dialogues.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Yahoo!
Well done. I wish I had 10 stars because then I could give you more. Well
Yep.
done.
Superman. Superman was the first popular superhero comic book released in the United States. It was published in the 1930s. Despite looking human, Superman was actually an alien born on a faraway planet. He was raised by a lovely American couple. His superpowers include being able to fly, unnatural strength, speed and hearing, and X-ray vision. He uses his powers to save the world from villains. However, he is vulnerable to one product called kryptonite, which can be found on his home planet. Superman has been immortalized in a number of feature films over the years.
Okay, great. So tell me 3 things about Superman that you've learned from this page.
So, he was raised by a lovely American couple, and he has superpowers include being able to fly, unnatural strength, speed and hearing, and X-ray vision. And the third fact about him is about he uses his powers to save the world from villains.
Okay, great, brilliant. So can you read this one?
Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of the most famous characters created by Stan Lee. Peter Parker was a normal teenager when one day he is bitten by a radioactive spider. Soon he begins to realize that he has superpowers. He is faster and stronger than he has ever been. He is able to climb and create spider webs, just like a real spider. He uses his superpowers to fight villains and criminals in New York City at night. By day, he continues to be Peter Parker, a student and photographer for the local newspaper.
Okay, great. So tell me 2 things about Spider-Man that you learned from this page.
So, I'll say, Spider-Man begins to realize that he has superpowers and he is able to climb buildings and create spider webs, just like a real spider.
And how does he use his superpowers?
Well, maybe he creates spider webs from his hands.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. So who is Stan Lee?
So I'll say he is responsible of his Marvel comic books.
Yeah, he's the guy who created Marvel comic books. Okay, great job. And why were his characters unique?
Well, his characters are unique. Well, because they are superheroes with superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. And why is comic book art important?
Well, because we need to draw it in a comic book. Well, we need to draw it with a pencil, then we draw lines with a pen or a marker. Then we color it and finish the dialogues.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. And who is Spider-Man during the day?
So, Spider-Man? Well, during the day, Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Yeah, exactly. During the day, he is Peter Parker. Okay, brilliant. So tell me, what was the most interesting part of today's lesson for you?
Well, it talks us about the superheroes from the comic books.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about superheroes from comic books. So why did you find that interesting?
Because I love to learn about superheroes from movies. I love watching superhero movies.